Hey, good evening, everybody. This is a video again on how to place a limit order and how to add liquidity, how you would place such an order, why you place it. This is mainly directed at uh, someone in the chat room that has asked me to do just one more video on it. So this is for her. Okay. There's a couple things, so you can just kind of follow along on my level 2. We're just going to use VRX as an example because you kind of want to use stocks, play stocks that are fairly predictable, and I find VRX fairly predictable. Okay, so let me see where I should begin. Now remember, these are just examples. You'll have to tweak them, here or there. But this is obviously how I'm doing it. It's going to be in hindsight. So let's kind of get started here. Okay, so let's say you see this pop up and you want to catch pullback. Now, whatever indicator you use as a guide, that's kind of what you want to use for your entry. So it pops up, it consolidates. Now you're going to give it time until it kind of reaches the. We'll use the 9 EMA as an example. Okay, so we would set an order here. Now this would be a little bit low. I mean, so you always want to give yourself a little bit of room, right? So let's say you get in here, you see the 9 EMA. Now let's just let's find out where the 9 EMA is right there. It's at 1643 and 1638. So let's just kind of pick a spot that's just kind of nice, right? So if it does snap back, you'll get a fill. So let me switch this over to limit. So we want it in the let's call it 1650 area because it's kind of consolidating at that area. So if you want, you just type in 1650 and then you hit buy. This is obviously to get long in it. So buy. Oops, I got these stupid fucking order confirmations. So now your order will be sitting there, right? So it's consolidating, and let's see if we would have got a fill there. Yeah, low of 1650. So you would have got filled there. You wouldn't have got filled. Yeah, you would have got filled on that one, and especially if you really wanted to, you could set it way over on down here because you see how it kind of snapped to that. They dropped the price right to the 9 EMA. You could have got a fill, and you would have got a really nice fill on that at 46. So you would have saved yourself quite a few pennies. And so that's one way of doing it. So now it's kind of popped up, and you want to get long. This, you haven't done this. Now you're looking to get long again on this. So it pops up and it starts pulling back. Now what you want to do is you want to use former support. So there's going to be some sort of support here at about 1682. Okay, so you would enter an order at 1682. But here's the thing, you also want to make sure that you're going to get filled, correct? So to take it right at that level at 1682, you don't want to do that. You want to kind of give it a little bit of wiggle room. So let's make it, oops, shoot. That was supposed to be a cent. I don't have this box configured. So you would make it at 1683. You want to give it only a cent or two, especially on a stock like VRX, right? And you would get filled. So you would just hit buy. Now it's going to sit on your box and wait for it to get entered, and you would have got entered. So you would have got entered, then you would have caught this little ramp up. You may or may not have stopped yourself out on this, but that's not really the point of this exercise, right? So now to sell into pushes, right? So it made a previous high of, the candles are showing 1707 and we got a high of 1715. So if you're looking to ride it all out and you want to take some profits, you always want to take some profits around the previous high of day because it could very well reject. So like I said, this one is at roughly, we'll call it 1715. So 1713, because you want to give it a few cents, right? Because you want to make sure you actually get that fill. And then you would hit, let's say you only wanted to drop off 50 shares, and then you'd hit sell. Now it'd be waiting over on your box. So once it tapped it, you would be good, and you're adding liquidity because you're waiting, right? So another way, now we'll go over to some examples later on in the day. And this is a really good one on how to do it. So you're looking to get in on a VWAP bounce, right? And these usually, I mean, they tap right on VWAP. I mean, that's what it did here, basically here, in here, right? So you're looking to buy a bounce. So what you would do is you want to find out where your VWAP is roughly, right? So we're at somewhere in the area of, let's call it, I don't know, because you got to wait until it's starting to make its way down, and once it gets close, now you want to set your order because these can have big whippy candles that'll just tap it and then bounce, right? And you definitely want to catch that. So as it's coming down in here, you can see your VWAP. This obviously wouldn't be developed yet. So you would check it. Okay, it's 1692, 1692, 1693. So like I said, you want to make sure that you're going to catch that fill. So you don't want to put it exactly on VWAP. I mean, you can. Trust me, you can. And it'll still get filled because they'll most likely tap it. But I like to make sure that I'm going to get in on that bounce because sometimes when they bounce, just like this, that's the only opportunity you would have had because it's just a wick there. It instantly bounced off of that. So we would make that at 16, let's call it 94, just to be safe, right? And you would have got a fill on that. So you would have hit buy, orders in the box, and it's just waiting for it to tap it. So it would tap it, you would fill, and then you could either sell on this push or hold through. Whatever you want to do, right? Like I said, I mean, that's not really the point of this exercise. So you want to use support and resistance areas as well, because we're not necessarily always going to get it back down to VWAP, right? So let's say, no, that's not really a good example, but yeah, I mean, this could be a good example here. Let's scroll back because that's pretty decent. Okay, so you see this, you want to buy some sort of a bounce, right? But where do you buy the bounce, right? So you always want to look at former support. So there's some support at, let's call it 1658. That'll be our number, okay? So you see it coming down, and it's coming down, and yeah, see, you would have actually got a fill on that as well. But anyways, you see it coming down, and you want to set some sort of an order, but it's like, well, all of this hasn't developed yet, so where is it going to pull to? Well, former support, right? 1658. So you would set an order for buy at 1658, or if you wanted to be safe, 59, and then you would hit buy. Good to go. Now it starts coming down some more, right? And what does it do? What's the low of this candle? 57. So you would have got a fill there. And let's say you missed it, you're still going to get filled on any one of these candles. You would have got filled, right? And what does it do once it hits support? It bounces. It puts in a higher low and continues north. So I hope that helps. I hope that helps you out there, Kat. Let me know if there's anything else that I can kind of tweak on. I'm pretty sure that's what you were asking. So that kind of touches on how to get filled on your SMAs and EMAs, the VWAP indicator, and now support and resistance. So that basically covers everything, right? And to sell, you just set price targets. That's all you really do. So let's say you're looking to make 20 cents off of this dip, right? So you would set it at roughly 80, right? And let's see if you would have got a fill. Yeah, you would have got a fill. So once you get in on that, you can set another order instantly to sell half or whatever your amount you want it to be. So let's say you only wanted to sell half, and you were going to ride the rest up, and then set a stop for break even or whatever type of trailing stop you want. You're looking for 20 cents, so you would set it at 1680. Type in the number of shares and then hit sell, and then it would just be waiting, and you're adding liquidity, right? So I hope that helps out, and I will have this posted up for you as soon as possible. Have a good night.